All right, y'all. Episode 8.
Yes,
I'm still on the Spanish.
Hey, man, let's
intro.
go. Shit, man, I'm fresh from Cabo, man. I'm about to be fluent Spanish up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Give me one sentence.
Man, listen, I'm going to tell you this. I would go in there and I would greet the server or the bartender. And I'd be like, hey, you know, ¿qué pasó? You know? I say, hey, ¿cómo estás? They'd be like, oh, bien, excelente. Y tú? I'd be like, bien, bien. And then they just go off in Spanish, right? I'm dark-skinned. They think I'm Dominican or some shit like that. Yeah. And I'd be like, nah, bro.
That's as far as we go.
Yeah. No, habla español? Un poquito. Shit.
Un poquito nada más.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my, I don't play that.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we're here. We're still going.
In the flesh.
Yes, sir.
Flesh. We started off with Mr. Budden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes to add the S or not.
Yeah.
Like Selenas.
Mm.
But
Salinas.
There's this top 50 rappers list floating around.
Man.
And we just want to talk about it really fast because
it's really entertaining.
Yeah,
it's more entertainment
really
than it is actual like context or some weight to it. So,
but
have y'all seen this list?
Yes,
yeah.
But let's make it clear. Joe Budden did say it was his list, right?
No, it's not even his list.
Oh, I thought it was his specific list.
I think because we ended up in that group chat with Tim.
That's right.
Tim brought it up and he was like, oh, it's from the Joe Budden podcast. Assuming, and by the way, shout out to the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah, Joe rebukes this list, even though he's number 3.
Yes. He addressed it on the pod. And shout out to him. He is an inspiration, I think, for a lot of people.
He's not number 3 on that list.
On the one that's floating around?
Yeah, the first list, he's number 3.
Oh, not in the one that
Tim sent us.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But that's not from that. They have no list.
Oh, okay.
Because the list thing could go forever.
It's what did my response to Tim said, y'all see this list, and there was a few things said about it. I said, bro, lists exhaust me. Yeah, making a top 5, this shit's exhausting.
Yeah, it is.
No one's right.
You can't do it.
No one's wrong. It's just annoying.
Read off the top 10 right now. Who the top 10?
Top 10 on that initial list: Jay-Z, Nas, Budden, Styles P, Black Thought, Fabulous, Jada, Biggie, Ghost, and Kendrick. That's 10.
Wait, so I'm sorry. So and this is Dead and Alive, and Tupac is not in the top 10.
Right. Well, shit, he wouldn't be in my. Well, he might be in my top, but I'd put Cube before Tupac.
No, I mean I respect that. I respect that because based off of Cube. Fortunately for Cube, his career is more longevity. So a lot of these artists hold more weight than than a Biggie or a Pac who passed away. Rest in peace. Because we only have so much to base them on.
It comes down to criteria.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Well, yeah.
No one has a specific criteria.
That's true.
Set.
You know what I'm saying?
Like my I know we don't want to spend too much time on, but I would put Cube before Pac because my criteria would be. Let's just say it's the Biggie rule. Biggie was alive for 3 albums, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Three albums, okay? Now, obviously you can't judge past anything past that because he didn't have another album.
Yeah.
So you take his albums in his prime. I think if you take all these artists' albums in their prime when they were hot, I think that's the best way to judge because Cube stopped giving a fuck after the first West Side Connection album, which was like 95.
This is a valid point.
Okay? So everything before that was hot.
Yeah.
That was his best work.
Absolutely.
He got into movies. The focus was off. Nothing against him. His head was somewhere else.
Yeah.
So if you take Cube's solo, and you can throw in NWA, but if you take his let's say his work, because he wrote most of NWA, their stuff. If you just take his work, that to me is better than anything Tupac has done collectively. Tupac had one really dope album. Everything before that was okay.
Yeah.
Not to say his pen wasn't dope because he was still talking that talk, but Cube, what people don't understand is Cube was Pac before Pac was Pac.
Oh, absolutely.
Pac knew how to market it.
Yeah.
Cube was doing those interviews on being conscious, self-conscious. I mean, not self-conscious, but black awareness and respecting black people and the movement, civil rights and all that. He was doing that long before Pac was. It just wasn't as commercialized as Pac.
Yeah, and I think
so. It just wrap it up. It just to me you have to figure out the criteria.
Exactly, because a lot of people take what the impact an artist did on the culture itself.
And
like
the impact,
Tupac.
did you change the culture?
Did you change the culture? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I think the first list we got where I think Drake was like number 6. And I was like, listen, with all due respect, Drake ain't number 6. Give me number 6 on this list. You know what I mean? And I get with the impact that Drake had on the culture and how he opened up a lot of doors for a lot of these new up and coming artists and et cetera, et cetera. But if we're, like he said, We got to talk about what the criteria is and then go from there. Then decide, okay, make this list.
What's the title of the list? Because when you read top rappers 50, you're thinking rapper. You're talking about lyricist,
rapper.
Right, rapper. You put artist instead of rapper. Now we're having a different conversation.
Exactly.
Right? Songwriter, different story. Some of these guys could still be there, some of them not. Some of them don't write their raps at all. You know, so it could change based on the title, and I think it just comes down to, you know, I think you got to be like really specific, like
that's
and really you have to really care.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, right.
I mean,
Exactly. I looked at that list, I was like,
I care enough just to specify why I put Cube before Pac, but I'm good. That's where it stops.
When I think of lists, all I can think about is all the times I'll start typing something and then I just delete it because of I'm already worried about the response.
Yeah,
that
you're
it's just
gonna
like,
get a lot of backlash from that, man. And I think anyone who tries to make a list is just looking for that attention.
Well, and you can tell like based on the list.
Well,
like,
look, that's why I didn't take this list serious. When I said Jay-Z, Nas, Joe Budden, I'm done with this list. No disrespect to him, but he knows.
No, you got the Joe Budden.
Yeah, because I'm like, there's no way in hell anybody would put Joe Budden at number three.
Joe Budden would put himself at number 3.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as dope as he is, and if you really listen to him back then, you can understand and appreciate. But you're not putting Joe at 3, and you're not, and you know, you got Biggie all the way down at 9. How can I take this list serious?
Yeah.
Just my opinion, and it's their opinion, but I think this list was just to fuck with people. So I stopped. As soon as I saw Joe, I was like, I'm done with it. I don't even want to look at it.
And it comes down to like how you grew up, where you grew up, what you were listening to.
Exactly.
Who
I'm biased. My top three. My top 3 gonna be East Coast rappers. Right. Back. You know what I mean? As much as I love Pac, he's going to be.
And my top 50 is going to include an Immortal Technique, you know, because Joe put me onto him. Like, I'm listening to him, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or it's for sure going to include a lot of different people, Murs or somebody, maybe, you know? Absolutely. Like, I don't know. I can't think that far down to get to 50. Yeah. But, like, when it comes to, like, the influence of what I grew up and who I grew up around, going to shows and whatever else, like, yeah, I'm going to have a different experience because I've either met them or see them in person. Yeah. You know? So.
And then you also have to factor in album sales. If you don't have to factor in, or you do, but if we are talking album sales, Nelly sold the most albums in the 2000s.
Yeah, he did. And
Jay-Z was supposed to be the best rapper, but Nelly had the most albums. But he's not even on this list.
Yeah, which is crazy because Jay said it in.
But I understand why he's not on
us.
Yeah, M, Pimp Juice, and Us. The only ones that's fucking with us. M, Pimp Juice, and Us. Yeah. And no one was like, Pimp Juice, come on, bro. You don't know Pimp Juice? Yeah, you got to get up out of here, man. You don't know who he's talking about. You got to get up out of here. But with that all being said, we're talking about rappers, right? How many rap artists are you playing in the club today? Think about it. Like rappers. When we were saying lyricists, rap artists, how many are you playing in the club? How many rap artists are you playing in club? Lyricists in the club today?
I think, you know, that's a really good question. And I'd like to think that I do clubs different from what you two do. I definitely do clubs different from you for the most part, because yours is more hip hop based. Yeah. And the clubs I've recently been doing is more like, it's more top 40. There's EDM. There's blips of EDM. There's blips of
you definitely
trap.
Play up north of 120 BPM way more than I do.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Both of us.
So what my experience is, I try to play as much rap as I try to push that envelope as much as possible, because even though that's not what that club is known for, a lot of people that go to those clubs want to hear that and they know it. Yeah. So that gives me an advantage moving forward, and when it comes to bookings, because that goes back to our previous conversations of everyone, all the employees loved your set. Yeah. You know, because I'm probably playing stuff that they know. They, you know, like how many DJs that do EDM, that mix in EDM in their sets, are playing Tap by Meek Mill and Nav. Mm-hmm. You're doing that without question. Set. That's not even a thought to, you know what I mean? But the guys that do the sets that I do and that cater to a more of a 128 set, or at least if you're playing 30-40% 128 music, like how many of those guys are playing that? Yeah. And that's so to your question, I try to play as much hip hop as I can get away with, because I know that's what the people want to hear.
But when you say hip hop, we're talking about.
When I say hip hop, I mean
you saying hip hop. You asked rappers.
Yeah.
So but hold on. Maybe it's easier for you to just tell us who, in your definition, has hot records for the club, but are lyrical. like a Logic.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you playing?
So are you playing Logic?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Are you playing? Give me another one.
Is Meek Mill lyrical? Would you consider Meek Mill lyrical?
Ooh.
I personally, I would. If we're in, and I'm only going to base him off of, like you said, his prime and the people who are relevant in his prime. If I'm going to base him off lyrics, I would say Meek Mill is one of the lyricists in this industry. But you could also look at someone like a Pusha T. Are you playing Pusha T's stuff in your sets?
I think I try to.
When his albums come out,
but that's a personal.
I try and.
I think more so for me, if I'm doing an opening set, I'm definitely doing some Pusha T stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not in no headlining spot. I'm not pushing. You know, I just did.
I don't think there's a.
I just did San Diego this past weekend. I'm not playing no Pusha T.
No.
You know what I mean? As much as I love him and respect him as an artist.
I try to sneak in a grind in here and there to surprise people. You know?
I think we all know like that's not what his music is catered to.
No, exactly.
But,
you know what I'm saying?
But I do love when I go out and see a DJ and he just figures out a way to mix in a push or someone that's not on the charts and you're
it's
like
not typical
and didn't skip a beat, like didn't lose a crowd still with them.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that was like that to me is like, oh, that was dope. I like that.
Maybe let's open this up to our listeners and everybody who's been supporting. Shout out to you guys.
Absolutely,
for
man.
Reposting and talking about the show. And more importantly, a lot of guys have been asking us questions.
Hell yeah.
Specific ones too.
Yeah.
You know, and I try to like get real clear with everybody because, you know, when they tell you how do you brand yourself as a DJ? Oh, well shit. I mean, we could go on for hours, right? That's like a whole topic. Yeah. But when you ask a specific question, it kind of makes it easier for us to address them. And so I think what we wanted to improve on as a podcast is just address some of those questions. I think, Joe, you had one or?
Yeah. Do you want to get into it now? Because it would kind of cut off our conversation.
I mean, we'll get back into it.
Okay.
But you had a specific question, and since we're talking about, you know, all the listeners getting involved, and eventually we'll have like an episode like addressing that stuff. But what was the question you had?
It was about the DJ told me he's a resident at this bar, and he wants to know how to break out of that and do bigger.
How would you?
Did you answer him?
No, I didn't answer him yet.
You left him on red.
Well, because I wanted to. It's not like he needed an answer.
Go back to my statement. Joe ain't shit.
No. I just haven't gotten around to because it is one of those answers that.
Right. Did you like double tap it like?
No, not yet.
Send him a heart.
But so you know, I was looking at his Instagram feed. So the first thing that comes up is like you just have a bunch of I don't even know if they're flyers or just a bunch of random shit. It looks his feed kind of look like someone trying to say, hey, do you want 10,000 more followers? Like one of those, like a bot type thing. And obviously I know it's not a bot. So I'm looking at his feed. I'm like, well, this isn't the most attractive feed. So that immediately raised an alarm because if I'm a booker, I don't want to see I want to see something clean. I want to see something organized, something that's something attractive that makes me see like, yo, like this guy, he's doing it. Not just I'm hustling. You can say I'm hustling, but there has to be some sort of organizational look to it. There has to be some sort of just something appealing about your hustle.
Flyers or like
it looked like a lot of flyers. But you know, like bars don't have the best flyers
at all.
So my advice to that is like, go around, start taking pictures in nice places and just start posting really clean pictures because I think that's just one way of leveling up. It's just if you clean it up and you look bigger than what's really going on, create an illusion. And number two is, this goes back to episode 2 when we talked about networking.
Yep.
Whatever that episode is, we talked about
episode 1.
We talked about networking. You got to get out if you're DJing 5 days a week at this bar. You got to get out 2 days and you got to go meet other people. You got to, if you really want to do the best club in your city, you got to make time to go to that best club or hang out with those people or figure out a way to get in with them. Whatever it takes, whatever you need to do. I'm not saying do some shady stuff, but you got to figure out a way to connect with those people. Wherever you want to be, figure out a way to get in there. You know, I was doing and the club I was doing consistently wasn't the club. I'm going to have to bleep that out. But the club I was doing consistently wasn't the ideal club for me in the long run, but I knew doing that club would get me into conversations with people doing bigger clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now I'm in a better position in that city.
Yeah.
So.
What would you say?
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Just to piggyback off of him, it's just if you're interested in, regardless if it's a club or city or whatever, go there, meet people, network. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you're not, you can't just, because I'm spending at this bar, you know, 4 or 5 nights a week, you know, I'm you know what I mean? People should be noticing me. Why?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if people, what's the saying? Better seen than heard. You know what I'm saying? Or not that one. Which is
even though I agree.
If a tree falls in the forest.
No, not that one. if you're not seen, if you're not better, fuck, I can't.
Don't swim 20 minutes after you eat.
Shut your ass up. Anyways, anyways, but going off what Joe said, just you gotta get in front of people, man, and like you said, just, you know, cleaning up your branding and make it somewhat appealing.
Well, something that you said that just popped in my head is if you're in a bar 4 or 5 days a week, you're technically a part of the promotion team because you're promoting it all the time, and people are at this point people are coming to hang out with you, see you. Everyone in the bar knows you. Yeah. Right? 200, 300, 400 person bar. Everyone in the bar knows you. So that goes back to our conversation in one of those episodes about your self-worth. Mm-hmm. So you got to know what you're worth. And so when you put yourself in a position to level up and do a better, and to actually do a club or whatever the level up situation is, you can tell that bar, like, look, this is what I'm worth and I'm not getting it. Yeah. So I have this opportunity to do this, and I'm just going to do that because you guys don't want to pay me more. At this point, people are coming to see me spin. You know, not everybody, but I can create the argument. Yeah. You know, I mean, slightly off topic, but that's going to be your next. Yeah. That's going to be the next move, because if you want to level up, you know, you got to figure out a way how to get out of where you're at now, and then you're going to have a conversation with the booker and the owner. Yeah. So. That's that scenario. But you want to get to that. You want to have that conversation because you want to break out.
We're not going to assume that, you know, if it is a 200-300 bar, you know, person bar, that people are going to specifically see that DJ. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the DJ is contributing to the atmosphere that bar gives. So people are like, yo, it's overall a dope bar. You know, the service are great. The drinks are great. The music is great. Then, you know, you hold a little weight, you know what I'm saying? So we would assume that was the scenario. Yeah. It could be a scenario where the bar is just, you know, a grade B bar in the area, and then, you know.
And that goes back to knowing your situation.
Yeah.
Not only knowing your worth, but your situation. Like, if you leave and the same amount of people still show up, then
you're replaceable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it comes down to, I mean, I guess what I would say for this person who wants to level up, you know, you have to be able to create leverage for yourself and your brand. And so that, number one, comes with what you were saying in regards to his Instagram. Obviously, I haven't seen, I don't know who this person is, but at the end of the day, like, your Instagram is a resume now. Yep. And you have to be prepared. So prepare your Instagram. Even things like doing a screenshot or like grabbing a flyer that's pixelated, like all that shit. It might not be under your control, but, you know, some of us got self-taught Photoshop just to be able to create our own imagery. Yep. Yeah. You know what I mean? To be able to clean things up, because maybe it doesn't fall on brand. Yep. You know, now there's apps on phones. So, like, you don't even have to learn Photoshop. You could just, you know, sometimes even doing a story text looks better than a flyer, because it at least creates a very simple, like, hey, this is what it is. This is where I'm at. Yeah. And I think, you know, being able to utilize your tools, I would recommend, even like if it's a bar that maybe people don't go to all the time, but you want to create some sort of like just content that the bar will see, like, oh, this DJ actually gives a fuck, right? Yeah. I would record a live set, and it's at the bar, and then now you're giving people kind of a taste of what to expect if they were to go there, or what they're missing out. You know, like, you want to create this FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Yeah. So I think all of those things, and, you know, enough consistency and hard work, and you can't get caught into if this shit doesn't work or you're only getting 5 likes on your flyer. Like, honestly, Instagram, you could delete shit.
Exactly.
Sorry. Like if it doesn't work or you whatever, just delete it, archive it, whatever. Like, like just keep a nice like consistency and just commit to it. Just keep doing it. Eventually it will catch on and you'll be able to create your brand, your leverage, and eventually it'll open up other doors where, you got to go shake hands. You got to go say hi, continue to be, like, again, episode 1, we talked all about it. What to do to network and create relationships. So, but that'll be fun. We'll keep bringing up questions and
keep sending your questions in, people.
Different perspectives. But
did you guys hear the Care Package album?
I mean,
not that you haven't heard it before.
Yeah, exactly. Yes and no.
I mean, I threw it on, I think, for like a drive. I'm always in the car.
Well,
so other than podcasts, I like to just let some shit like just go.
I mean, not to anybody's surprise, but it did 109,000 in a week, I believe, which put him at number 1 in the Billboard's top 200 album charts.
Yeah.
But it got me to think, because usually when an album does hot, a hip hop album, when a hip hop album does hot, you try and pull tracks that you would play in the club.
Yeah.
But this is a different situation for us DJs because we've heard all these songs before.
Yeah.
Now, catering specific to the hip hop clubs, are there any songs off this album that you would play in a hip hop in your clubs? Like, let's just bring up Playhouse, for example, where it's hip hop driven. Like, I mean, off the top, I would consider playing, well, not even so much that. Like, I would consider playing Trust Issues, but, and there's a time and place for all this, but what if, because a lot of these songs, I'm looking at the list for those that aren't watching us on YouTube, and a lot of these songs on Care Package, they're slow, they're more for the car drive, they're more for
R&B-ish.
Sex,
yeah.
So,
we know why Joe listened to him.
What's the one song? What's the sex song for you?
I don't have a Drake album or a Drake song for sex.
So why would you recommend it? You're doing this
because well, I'm saying it because kids.
Lead my example. Lead my example.
You want to talk about Jodeci?
That's what you got.
We want to get into that playlist. So I'm thinking, all right, what if someone big spender Playhouse comes up to you, Mike? And
shout out to Playhouse too.
Shout out to Playhouse.
10 years
for sure.
in the game.
Yeah, man.
We're still doing it.
You don't hear about that.
Let's say big spender from Playhouse comes up to you, Mike, and says, I want to hear, I'm just going to pick, how about now? No, that's too easy. I want to hear
that's easy.
5 a.m. in Toronto, because I would play How About Now without request, but I want to hear 5 a.m. in Toronto. More lyrical than anything, right? Are you going to drop that? Or are you going to be like, nah, it's not the right setting, it's not the right situation?
Who's telling him to play it? The person buying the bottle or the promoter that hired him?
The person buying the bottle
is asking Mike to play.
And he's got a table and he's spending big money.
Okay. And he's
But 5 a.m. in Toronto isn't going to do shit for the people on the floor.
And he's the one asking.
And he's the
directly one asking Mike to play it.
Yeah. Okay, let me give you let's say it's 1:15 a.m.
At Playhouse? Yeah. Man, that's prime time.
That's prime time.
That's prime time.
That's tough. What do you do? How would you, if you're not going to play it, off the top, this is what I think I would do. I would say, I got you. Give me some time. Okay? And if he's dropping a stupid tip, like, fuck it. Let's do it.
I mean,
I'm going to tell him, hey, but you know what?
Pause, bro.
I'm not going to, I mean, I wouldn't even say this, but you could say, I'm going to play some of it. I can't let the whole thing ride. You got to help me out because you're going to freeze my
Because that's a straight, he's spitting for the whole thing. There's no hook on that song.
Honestly, I'd be like, when you pop your next set of bottles, I got you.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay,
it's business.
You popping bottles?
I'm gonna look out for my venue first.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna look out for the client next. And then honestly, the dance floor is irrelevant to the business.
I mean, and
this might sound kind of crazy, right? And sure, here's my hot take. But the dance floor is the least important part of a DJ.
Right.
Yeah.
And their set. Depending on the venue. We're talking
depending on the venue, because we can go back to the bar conversation.
Right.
And
if you're DJing at the bar, that's a different scenario.
Yeah.
Right? But happy people drink, and the more they drink, the more the sales, the more you come back.
Mm-hmm.
I would think. Right? As long as you control and you understand what's going on. Because sometimes you got to drop some, I wouldn't say whack music. You're not dropping whack music. But you got to drop records that might not be something that people want to dance to, right? But they can vibe to.
Yeah.
To send people to the bar.
Yeah.
Like, it's not all about having a packed dance floor all night. You want to balance it out.
Yeah.
And so, that always brings up the age-old conversation of just like, who is your crowd? Who are you playing for?
Yeah.
Like, how do you want to play for them? I think in this day and age, in a venue like a Playhouse, or even a venue like, I'll bring up Dre's again, because it's, to me, like, they're one of the premier hip-hop venues in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And I've seen DJs drop, like, straight, like, LMA or Jodeci or some old Usher slow record, right? Or, I mean, think about No Guidance, right? It's a hot record, but it is a slow song.
Yeah.
And so it might not match into the energy, but you can build those moments up.
Yeah.
Right? Dedicated to the ladies.
Yep.
Right? Most of the time we're playing for women
the lady
first.
anyways.
Yeah.
Because if the women are having happy, the men are spending.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or trying to impress or do whatever. So I think you could build into those moments, and to answer your question specifically, I would just put the pressure on. All right, cool. When I see those sparklers come out, I got you.
Yeah, because those guys, if you really got that kind of money, like, all right, let's see how much money you really got.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that approach goes a long way, as opposed to taking a tip. You know what I mean? Like Joe was saying earlier, like if the person comes up to you and goes, "Yo, can you drop that 5 a.m. in Toronto?" Here's $50, here's $100.
I mean, even if he slides you $100, $200,
you know what I'm saying? Here's $100, $200. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to you saying, "How about you pop another bottle and I got you?"
Right.
Then the club, the promoter gets wind of you doing that.
Yeah.
Yo, we fucks with that person buys another bottle. We bringing him back for sure.
I get in the mic. I get on the mic. You're like, "Yo, shout out to blah blah blah. You wanted this record. You brought the bottles out. You ain't
Boom.
playing.
You make a moment out of it.
Yeah.
Boom. You play it. Club gets aware, right? Club gets wind of that.
Absolutely.
We're bringing MikiWAR back.
Yeah. I mean, it's all
hands
about
down.
the relationship.
You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Exactly.
Keep everybody, happy.
I think, and just to give another example, because Playhouse is a unique situation. Not all clubs, definitely not all clubs in the country are anything like Playhouse, where it's like a pure hip hop and it's a forward hip hop set, because you got to be on top of your music to.
Well, LA, the LA.
Okay, LA.
Listen,
LA, New York, Atlanta, like those clubs are more or less on their shit. Probably LA. To my knowledge, LA is like kind of on the forefront.
It's what we know, so
right.
We can definitely comment on that all the time, right?
Right. So I was in a situation, 2015 Infusion Lounge in San Fran, and like Infusion Lounge, where the people on the dance floor are foreigners. Either they're not from San Francisco, or either they're from a different city, or they're from another country.
Right.
And the people on the tables are just locals that spend money, or they're athletes because they get basketball players. The night I did Infusion was the Texas Rangers were there, and all those guys wanted to hear. They wanted to hear a trap set. They wanted to hear, like, I think Future just came out with the Wicked album.
So hip hop trap record.
Hip hop trap record. Okay. Yeah, to specify. So I was like, and I got like one of the main promoters tell me, "Yo, can you drop Future and stuff like that for my spenders?" And I knew, because like that, like Wicked was dark, like that whole album. That there was like a 2-album situation. One was more R&B, I think. But I remember that a lot of Future stuff at that time was real dark, and it wasn't for the clubs.
Yeah.
And I dropped it, and I'm just like, fuck, did this song just suck the energy out of the club? But the buyers were happy, or I assume they were happy, because they looked that way, and this is stuff they want to pop bottles to.
Yeah.
So I'm in a situation where it's like, I got people on the dance floor looking at me, doing the arms up, what the fuck? And they're just, either if they're not doing that, they're just like, they're just energy's low.
Yeah.
Was it sorry to stop you, but was this when the DJ booth was on the floor, or was it elevated?
Elevated.
Okay.
Like in that right corner.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, it really made me think. So I just played for the bottle poppers. Like, yo, promoters, this is what the promoters and managers and GMs, this is what they want. Fuck it. Like, I don't care.
This is the one who's cutting the check. That's what they want.
Yep.
But I'm also trying to think, I want everybody to be happy. And I think it makes a fun challenge.
Yeah.
To try and satisfy everybody. So I'm thinking, what could I have done? What can I do? What could I have done to make everybody happy and still live essentially in that 70 BPM world. So, you know, I'm thinking, all right, you know, you're playing stuff like Humble, you know, some Drake songs, Kendrick songs that everybody knows. Cardi B wasn't around at the time. So in my head, if I could replay that, if I could do that moment all over again, I would try and incorporate more familiar stuff, rake it up. You know, those are songs they know on the dance floor. They may not know the words because not every club is just like, fuck the dance floor, worry about our bottle poppers.
Yeah.
Most clubs aren't like that. They're like, we want, you know, GAA is our thing. General admission is our thing. We want people to come and spend money at the bar. So, and then of course that goes back to what you're saying, rotating the dance floor, playing songs that people, if you don't know it and they're still dope, that'll get people to go to the bar, take a break, have a drink, spend some money, and then come back with some familiar stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, and like venues are shifting, right? Like again, we're speaking primarily based on our experiences and different things like that. You travel a little more than I would when it comes to gigs and stuff like that. So the experience we have in the LA scene is like venues are somewhat getting smaller and dance floor space isn't really like specified anymore, right? Like a Booty Bellows like is really more standing room space than it is and a lot of tables and not really, there isn't like a dance floor, it's just like open space.
Yeah.
That people might.
That's how Hyde is too.
Yeah. And you know, Hyde, exactly. Yep. Yeah. It's just like a maze of tables.
It's literally a maze.
Yeah.
And it's just tables.
And then in the middle, it's just like, that's where you should be walking.
Exactly.
Like, keep it moving.
If you're standing there, move
and
out of
for
the way.
those, not to cut you off, but just to add more of a description to these clubs in LA, which eventually I think most clubs will end up doing. They don't want general admission in the club. They just want spenders. No. Like to get into Poppy is $100 for general admission, and it's purposely $100. So because they don't want,
they want to turn people away.
They want to turn people away, and they want you're just gonna be in the way.
Well,
so now you're an inconvenience. So $100.
Yeah, well, and you're building up the hype into the spot, right? Depending on the night and depending on the situation, like.
Imagine how pissed you are. You spent $100 and you
walk
into the club
I was at Poppy and I'm walking in and I see these like 3 college kids and like, bro, just pay 100. Fuck it, just pay 100. We got to get in. And I'm like, man, this is.
They just want that. They want that Instagram Poppy.
Yeah,
you know? They want to
like
be able to.
This is crazy. Like
flex it on the gram.
Really. I mean, especially if you're in LA and you're a rich kid, you got money.
Yeah,
just go around and spend $100 to get in.
Yeah, no, I mean, bro, that's just the scene as it is in LA, and so for the most part, naturally, we're kind of like. Based on the things that we've gotten to see, like you're kind of trained to like cater to the tables because that's what's making the club go round. You know, what sells at the bar is just what's on top. And so, you know, we don't know. I can't say I know all the ins and outs. I do from the past when I used to do talent bookings and talent managing over at Infusion Lounge, LA, many moons ago, and you know. But there was a sizable dance floor there, and things have changed dramatically since then. Yeah. So it's hard for me to like really say what the goal or the point is. But I definitely can say as an observation, adjusting to a smaller venue and being focused around tables seems to make more business than having a dance floor club.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
So, but if you have the dance floor, it's because you are banking on the GA ticket.
And coming from the DJ's aspect, you want to please as many people as you want to. Realistically, you can't please everybody, but you want to please, regardless if it's your dance floor, regardless if it's your tables. Like Miki was saying, you want to find that medium. You want to find that happy medium.
And it's just fun. It's fun to create that challenge and to satisfy that challenge because we're creatives.
Exactly.
That's why I continue to enjoy DJing. It's because I try and say, how can I flip this club on its back and really fuck its head up, and then when you get that validation from the booker, like, yo, you did your thing. They want you back, and then you can't help but think it's because I took this approach.
Yeah,
So let me ask you this: what current residencies do you have?
Official Tao Group properties in Vegas. And I say unofficial because it's not written in stone. Like I wasn't a part of a big rollout at the top of the year. But the Grand, in Boston, Shrine in Connecticut, and I just started Memoir, and of course they said they're gonna this conversation they're gonna bring me back. It's just a matter of where I fit with everything else.
So with those residencies, how often are you going back?
I've done the Grand twice this year. Might go back, do it again. Same thing with Shrine, because I try and do a Shrine on a Friday and a Grand on a Saturday. So again, it comes down to what they have available, because they're gonna lock in their bigger guys.
Yeah. But give me like a what, 3 every couple months?
Let's say once a quarter.
A quarter? Yeah. So like a quarterly residency, right? I have a monthly at Playhouse.
Right.
And then I have an unofficial like monthly or every other month in San Diego. Rell, you have more consistent residencies, right?
Yeah, I have The Room. I have San Diego monthly, Le Jardin monthly, more than monthly now at Le Jardin. Blind Dragon, it's monthly. All clubs except for The Room, that's more of a bar.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And then which one's the most like consistent, like as far as like more often? Any weeklies?
I would say Le Jardin. There's times I'm there at least twice a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the sake of the conversation, Joe and I might be a little detached from this one, but because if you do a venue, and there's guys out there who do something every week, right?
Yeah.
Every Wednesday, every Tuesday, every whatever. Do you ever find yourself kind of like internally thinking about not recycling sets? Or like,
oh, listen, yes. I had a weekly residency at Teddy's at the Roosevelt.
Okay.
I was there every Thursday. And it, I'm a firm believer, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I'm going to, with that being said, I don't necessarily go into every week playing song by song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I went in here and I played this set and it worked. Like,
yeah,
it just worked like a dime. That doesn't mean that the following week I'm gonna play that same set front to back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna take pieces of it because I know, okay, this moment really worked, so I'm gonna take that and use that. But then there's after doing that for about 2 months, I want to say a month and a half to 2 months.
Yeah.
Then I personally started getting bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it comes to, okay, how can I flip the script and still keep my crowd engaged?
Yeah.
Still give them what they want. Because even if it's, for the most part, the crowd would change weekly.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's still a quarter of the crowd that was there religiously.
Right.
And, you want to keep them in mind. So how can I get that quarter of people that I know? Because I'm on the mic shouting them out every week. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're hosts or they just people that are there every week.
Yeah.
How do I get them to go ape shit?
Yeah.
Never mind the people that are coming there once a month or once every other month or something like that. How do I get the people that are here religiously every week? How do I get them to go ape shit? And just finding ways to approach it and still give them what they want, because, they want the city girls. They want the Megan Thee Stallions. They want that type of shit every week, regardless if you're tired of playing it or they're tired of hearing it. They still want that. That's what's, natural for them. That's what, is familiar with them.
Yeah.
So I've definitely tried after like I said, a month and a half to 2 months to switch it up every week.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard. Don't get me wrong. Like, and there's, obviously you get those weeks where you're just like, man, I don't want to go in here and I have to do it. And I took it for granted and I got lazy and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna just do the same set. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like, but there's weeks where I go in there and I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play some different shit. And then there's days that it backfired on me, and then there was weeks that it worked for me. So you know what I mean? It's just about willing to take those risks and see how it plays out and learning from it. If it works, if it doesn't work, and then kind of approaching it and being like, all right, cool. Like I said, our goal as DJs is to please as many people as we can in our venue.
Yeah.
But realistically, we can't please everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my goal and my intention is to go out there and do the best that I can and give the people and try to please the people as much as I can.
Yeah.
But I'm realistic to the fact that I can't please, and I'm realistic to the fact that I am going to have off sets or off days or off nights or something like that. So yeah. I try not to recycle, but I am victim of that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna front.
I think we all are at some point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever this is like one of the things I end up doing all the time, but whenever I do have a set that I like I'll pull it from the history and just drop it into a crate and then just like give it an initial to the venue and then a date. And then like it kind of dates it.
Yeah.
Because then sometimes you can go back and like glance at like, oh, I might have forgot to bring this into this set, or this will still work today versus then, you know? I think that's helped me. And I think the other reason I bring it up is because, you know, I used to have more consistent residencies, and I would like to think it was at the time it was a little more popular than it is now. But back in the day, like 2012, 2013, I had a lot of sets, like wordplay and tricks and things that we all like to see on Instagram, but I don't know how much actually works these days in the club, you know, or do people care? You know, I guess it just comes down to the venue.
Because people have ADD and it goes over their heads.
Like most of the venues I'll play now, like probably don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right?
Just play my fucking song, bro.
Yeah. And then, but then there's like in San Diego, some of the venues I'll play, you know, shout out to the guys over there. They want you to be creative. Yeah. They want you to be like, forget that. Do the dope shit because it's a moment.
Yeah.
And so they encourage that. But I don't put as much of a focus. But I remember like I had a squad, you know, that would pull up to all of my gigs, and they started calling out some of my sets, right? And I'm just like, damn, like I know I'm repetitive, obviously, because I'm purposely doing these sets that people have never heard.
Works.
Yeah, because it works. But then you have this internal battle of like, I got my friend on the side ready to sing the next song. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, that hits my ego, because it's like the crowd's going to be like, oh, shit. And then, but like the bar staff or my homies like might just be like, oh, heard this shit before. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it gets repetitive. And
well, your friends got to understand like what you're trying to accomplish. And if they don't, I mean, what can you do? But like you got to do what works for your set. Like, so Mike, I can't help but think this, but Mike had gone to like probably 2 or 3 of my sets not too long ago. It was like Oxford, San Diego, Omnia, San Diego, probably another one. I don't know if maybe a Vegas or something, but but like going back to what you're saying, you have your pre-planned bulks, like chunks of tracks that you use as a routine. Yeah. So I have like 4 of them. I probably have more than that, but there's like 4 that I'm guaranteed to use. And I know by Omnia, which is like the 3rd time Mike had heard me, or the 3rd time he heard my set, I knew that he had heard this shit before and he can probably call out the next song. Yeah. But I didn't care what he was thinking or what whoever else had heard that, because first of all, I know Mike understands what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Yeah. Not just in the set, but just trying to raise an awareness of the club, because it was my first time doing Omnia San Diego and my first time doing Oxford, I believe. So they've never heard me, you know. So I'm gonna repeat that. Yeah. You know, I did it at the Grand, and I'm probably gonna do it at Memoir because those people have never heard me, and I know it's like guaranteed. And if I keep getting rebooked, and the money goes up in those bookings, you know, how dumb would I look if I said, oh, Mike's heard this before, I don't want to do this. Yeah. For 4 of them, for 4 of my in my mind, money-making routines. Yeah. That will be like, yo, this guy's kind of different, or this guy kind of separates himself, or he's making an effort or something. Like, how dumb would I look if I'm concerned about what the club, well, not the bartender, because this would be their first time hearing me, but just what my friends heard, you know? And if your friends aren't on board with what you're doing, you know, you need to get some new friends. Or you just need to communicate that to them.
Let's clarify that. I was not thinking that at all.
No, yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying he did.
I didn't think he was, because I know he's like, we've grown. Maybe 10 years ago we would have hated on each other, but I know we've grown, and I'm like, you know, these thoughts just run through your head whether you want to or not. Absolutely. So as soon as I thought, you know, Mike's heard this before, my second thought was, but he gets it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I keep it moving.
Well, to be honest with you, like, I'm just so disconnected from the venues he does. Yeah. Like, as far as like those sets. I mean, shit, I had to ask you for one like once because I thought I was gonna play like that similar up tempo, and I was just like, yo, like for reference, like, can you send me some one of your sets just so I could like see if there's anything I'm like not connecting with or might be sleeping on. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. And because I'll do that for some of my friends who aren't into the hip hop scene as much. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, here's like 5 dope ones that you might not know about. Yeah. But I think all those things are important to do. And yeah, I'll be honest with you, like when I heard the sets, I was like, that's just fucking dope. Like I probably need a couple of those records. Like, you know? Versus in the past we probably
I mean shit, my fiance, she knows my sets front to back. She's just like, so like I said, this past weekend I did San Diego and I did some new shit. We were in Cabo for a week, so I haven't touched my turntables. You know, I haven't really opened my laptop or did anything. And then I get back, I'm ready to do a set. I did a set in Vegas, but I got back. She wasn't with me, and then when I got back to San Diego, she was with me, and I was like, oh, I do San Diego often. She's always with me when I do it. I fucked her shit up. She was like, I never heard you do that. And then when you get that feeling, like you said, when you get that feeling, if you got that from like a Mike who's seen your shit all the time. And then you still got the crowd going, you're like, oh yeah, I'm in my bag right now.
The DJ couple things gotta be interesting. Like you gotta sneak in like a little mixed trick.
Yeah, right. You
gotta go practice while she's asleep.
Like, yo,
you gotta sneak in your studio. You ain't stealing my shit. But what's going on? Are you awake? No, chill. Go back to sleep. Are you working on a new routine now? Go back to
sleep. Go back to sleep. I'm like, everybody. She's like, damn.
Just be happy she ain't the type of girl. Where'd you learn that from?
Oh, you practicing without me?
Yeah, that's what we doing now, huh? Nah, but yeah.
Go ahead, finish.
No, yeah. Like I said, so she like it kind of. She was like, "Oh shit!" Like I didn't ever heard you know. I was like, "Oh man, you know." But it was the same shit that I played, the same songs, just introducing them in a different way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like Mike was saying, if it was wordplay or whatever the scenario, whatever the case is, just all right, cool. I'm gonna play these songs because they work. I'm just going to approach it differently.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And that's just where I stand out when it comes to like trying not to recycle, trying to do something different, but still getting the same reaction and getting the same impact.
Yeah, absolutely. One more thing before we get into some new music. I want to say 10 years, you were with me. I don't want to say the DJ's name. We were at Dre's Wednesday, Party Rock Wednesday.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And a well-respected DJ had what was our guest DJ. Mm-hmm. I'm still doing his thing to this day, and he was dropping doing his thing, and I was telling you what songs he was gonna play next, and every time he dropped it, and I was right. You looked at me like, "Yo, how do you know that?" I'm like, "Cause I've heard his set. Like I've actually only heard him one other time before that." I know what you're talking about too. Yeah, and then I heard this dude had a residency in Vegas, and the employees were complaining about it's the same shit every like same routine, same everything. And 10 years ago, that bothered me, or whatever it was, 10, whatever. But 10 years ago, that bothered me because I'm thinking like, come on, man, mix it up, do something different, you know?
Yeah.
And for those younger minded DJs, you gotta understand what this dude's trying to do and that it's working for him.
Yeah.
And these people at Dre's have probably never heard him before. Mm-hmm. And this is what he has to do to keep his brand popping, to get to the next booking, to do something bigger and better. I can't speak for him. I wasn't out at the residency, so I didn't hear that set. So I can't really speak on that, but he's doing whatever he has to do. Obviously, like going back to your Teddy situation, if you're doing something once a week, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
So you have to empathize with him and just like understand like it's tough to like
come up with fresh shit every week.
Yeah. So but my point is for a lot of you guys that hear a lot of these DJs over and over, like you understand what they're trying to do. This is a business move. Yeah. And end of the day, they're doing what's best for their brand and for the club. So.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back down to like, some people will ask you, like, why do you charge what you charge? And you have to constantly remind people that the reason why you get paid what you get paid isn't for the 1 hour that you do it for. It's for the unlimited hours that we spent getting there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so the same thing kind of follows suit with these, like, famous DJs or these influencer DJs or producer DJs, right? Yeah. Like you could argue Mustard's set is probably really similar. Yeah. But my dude made bangers.
Yeah, absolutely.
For years. You know what I mean? And busted his ass to get where he's at.
I spun with him 2 or 3 times.
Respectfully, like, yo, like he probably grew up in a similar environment to all of us. Like, and he came out of LA. If the dude's getting paid what he's getting paid, he's been able to leverage that because of the name he's built himself. That respectfully, like his set doesn't have to be anything outrageous or amazing like how we would have to work. Yeah. Right? Because we're still putting in the hours to get to where we want to get. Yeah. So absolutely. It's just one of those things where you know, if as a DJ, because the DJ's ear is so sensitive, right? We hear everything. I had a really funny moment. I was at Excess this past weekend, and I saw the Chainsmokers perform, and they're dope, like live, really dope actually. And there was this moment where, because you know they're both on and off the mixer, and then one of them you could hear that timing, and they like mixed like these 2 songs where it was just like a slam intro, and then the slam came after the end slam of another song, and so it just didn't line. It went boom, right? And I heard it. I'm sure like everybody else was high off their mind or drunk or whatever. Didn't even notice it. Didn't even notice it.
Or sober as fuck and they didn't care. We are out there, Mike.
You are out there. I'm sorry.
Don't leave us out.
Sober lives matter.
Thank you.
And so I looked at them, and I don't know the dudes' names, but I met them and they're super nice guys. Just don't remember the names. But
because you weren't sober.
The younger looking cat, maybe the younger looking cat who sings looks over to the guy who did it, and then he just looks over like this, and then the guy looks at him and is like, "That's my bad."
Hey, at least you take responsibility for it.
No, I respected the shit out of it. He just goes, "Oh, that's my bad," and then they just look at each other and laugh because it's like,
keep it pushing,
keep going. Like they got the place rocking.
We just made 5 figures off this game. We just made 6 figures off this game. We're good.
I am sick.
Question: don't answer it though, because I want to talk about it. Maybe in another podcast, that's another topic. Sure. And then, I want to see what our listeners will probably, say about it. If they hit us up, speaking about, all these residencies and sets and whatnot. Do you, and I guess this would probably be more a question for you because you travel and you do a little bit more. You do different, I guess, venues, I want to say. Yeah. Do you plan your sets? Right? So when I say plan, I mean, like, do you have, all right, I'm going to go up, I'm going to play my intro, then I'm going to play this song, then I'm going to play that song right after, so on, so on, so on. Or do you wait till you get to the spot, have an idea of the stuff that you want to play, and kind of feel out the crowd and kind of, I guess, quote unquote, freestyle your sets based off of like what the crowd reaction is giving to you, whether it's, tables, it's dance floors, or etc. Yeah. Don't answer it. Same thing question for you, but don't answer it. Yeah. We'll talk about it at another topic, another podcast.
On that topic too, it'd be fun to just talk about like maybe some of the tips and tricks we might have in regards to like tagging records, things that we search for, or even the prep work, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
How do you organize your music? I think we might all have different perspectives. Yeah. In regards to that. Yep. Shout out to Vegas, bro. Like they have some really dope concept and events, and honestly, they inspired me to do something a little out of the box. So the concept is Mag Park goes 4 times platinum for a year anniversary, and I'm hand delivering actually a lot of them. Is an actual piece of a platinum vinyl with the invite label on it. So
for you people that are receiving these records, understand how special you are, because my man is personally driving around in his Lexus, which is a gas guzzler, in the summertime in Los Angeles. So these gas prices,
I'm throwing that bitch into eco mode for sure.
These gas prices are outrageous. So that means a lot for him to be driving all over.
What's the furthest you have to drive?
I know you got to go to Orange County.
For sure, Orange County.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I will be in
which is an hour out for those.
Well, I will be in San Diego on Friday, so maybe that adds on to a couple of invites.
Okay, 2.5 hours out.
So I think that's about as far as I'm driving. Yeah. I'm definitely mailing some out.
So, okay, gotcha.
Can't do it all, but
not this time around.
Not this time around, at least. Yeah. But yeah. So Avenue LA. I'd say slide in my DM if you want an invite, but we'll We'll see. I think we're honestly, it feels like it's already about to be at capacity.
Avenue is like another one of those LA clubs where there's nowhere to stand.
No,
it's all tables. So unless you want to hang out in the wave.
Pull up early because all I'm telling everybody is
we're at MikiWAR, so
I'm turning off my phone.
We are. I'm just saying, speaking for those that are in his DM that don't really know.
No, I'm turning off my phone at 11. Like it's
the day of or the day before.
The day of. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Anyway. I think that does it for us today.
Yes, sir.
For episode 8.
Ocho. That's it.
All right, we'll catch us on the next one. Keep posting. Keep
posting
screenshots.
Yeah.
Tagging us
or reposting.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tune in. You know, so we appreciate the support thus far, but
make sure to add us. Make sure to subscribe to the DJ City YouTube.
Yep.
You know, keep catching us on there.
Yep.
Shout out to everybody who's hitting the thumbs up, and shout out to everybody with the thumbs down too.
We appreciate y'all too.
But you know what? They'll tell us why your thumb is down.
Yeah,
it only helps us.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're just hating because that's in your blood, then hey, what can we do?
Well, that means we're doing something right.
Yeah, it's not our problem that you didn't get a hug when you were a child. Anyway,
talk to him. I'm trying to tell him.
Yeah, listen.
Anyhow, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next one.